I'm back. Glad to see that you're also back. For those of you that are here for the first time, hi, I'm Vivian. Um, Today's topic is quite serious, but it is interesting, and I might be a little long, but I ask you to listen till the end because what I have for you at the end is gonna be quite mind blowing. It blew my mind because again, I asked the Holy Spirit to help me with everything that I do, especially when it comes to the videos. So today's topic will be about something that seems to have been in people's head since 2020, but only now people seem to have the courage to say something and why they believe or what they believe is the cause of this. I realized that myself, and once I realized it was a worldwide phenomenon, and I'm not the only one thinking those things, I asked the Holy Spirit to tell me what's going on, and it turns out that since 2015, the Holy Spirit has been giving me the questions slowly and the whole big picture about a couple of days ago. So today's topic is going to be the question, why does the world feel so weird? Because it does. It feels absolutely weird. I totally agree with that. But before we start, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video. And with that said, I got my notes and I got my coffee and I got Jesus. So let's do this. So, but what exactly are people feeling since 2020? What happened in this time span until today? I believe it's a lack of control over their own lives. They feel betrayed, as if someone has lied to them and has been lied to them or lying to them a very long time already. I hear people say all we knew or all that we were taught is a lie. And you know what? They are right. They're absolutely right. And the world feels more and more dystopic the deeper we go into it or the further we get into the years. And you might think that it's a big surprise to only people who doesn't follow Jesus. Trust me, it's only a surprise or not a surprise to a few of us who follow Jesus, because even for many people who follow Jesus, this is also a big surprise that everything just seems to have been built on lies. But why is that? Before we answer this question, let us go through 3 Bible verses. The first one is in 1 John 5:19. It says, "We know we are from God, and the whole world lies in the power of the evil one." So in the other words, the devil rules the world. In John 10:10, it says, "The thief enters only to steal, kill, and destroy." And the third one is John 8:44. "He has never stood for the truth, because there is no truth in him. Whenever the liar speaks, he speaks according to his own nature, because he is a liar and the father of lies." So, I think that even Christians underestimated how true those verses actually are. And I'm going to break down those verses with you. 1 John 5:19. Again, "We know we are from God, and the whole world lies in the power of the evil one." So again, the devil rules the world, right? So what does a ruler do, and what is a ruler? They are in control of a country, a nation, a state, etc. They decide what is the best for the people, what steps the country will take. They basically lead the future of all people in the future of the country. So when Jesus says that the devil is the ruler of this world, it means he is the ruler of every country, every state, every nation, everything. He decides where the world goes. He sets the rules, and he just leads. Now, he leads through the rulers of the world. Now, the devil doesn't have power on his own, and we know that because Jesus, after he resurrected, he defeated the devil. He defeated the devil, took the chains away from hell, or the keys from hell away from the devil, and he was victorious, right? But the devil has power if we give him that power. And if someone in position of power serves the devil or doesn't believe in the devil but serves himself, they automatically are still serving the devil, because the devil is selfish and he operates in selfishness and corruption. So whoever somebody like that, or somebody that actually follows the devil, is in power, the power goes to the devil. And again, it's not hard. It's not hard for the devil to take over people who are in power, because power and money corrupts. And whoever is corrupt is automatically a servant of the devil, if they know it or if they don't know it. It doesn't matter. Now, John 10:10, the thief enters only to steal, kill, and destroy. What does that mean exactly? All the 3 verses that we read, we are taking them literal. They are supposed to be taken literal. Jesus didn't say things just because, for fun. We will take people who serve the devil as an example, okay? Which is Satanists, all of that. The devil lures those people in with promises of a very long life, money and power, success, beauty, and so on. The devil lies to them and say that those things will truly fulfill them and will give them meaning. So the people fall for those lies and they trade their souls for those promises. And what I'm about to tell you is something that every ex-Satanist or every person that sold their soul to the devil back then and then got it back by Jesus, they will tell you the same thing. It has a pattern. In the beginning, everything is great. The devil keeps his promises. He gives you what you traded your soul for. It seems like it's fulfilling you and you're loving it. But as we know, the only one that can truly fulfill you is Jesus Christ, right? So there is still this void in their hearts, and this void, although they feel like they're being fulfilled by everything that is worldly or whatever the devil promised them, they still feel like life is meaningless. So they look for meaning in other places. And this is how the devil slowly kills you. Slowly, because then you start finding meaning in other things, like drugs, sex, wealth, communion with people like you. And when you have communion with people like you, you start destroying each other, because you serve the same master, and this master wants to destroy you. He hates humans. No matter if you're his servant, if you are an atheist, if you're a Muslim or a Christian, he hates you. He hates you and he wants you to destroy humanity. So not only are you in a bad situation, you have people surrounding you that are making the situation for you even worse. So at some point, and this steals your joy, okay? This is stealing your joy, because you think you're moving forward, you think that you're getting somewhere, and then at the end, you're just going back to where you were, or even going backwards, and even worse. And then at some point, and we see this in celebrities, at some point, something happens. You do something or you overdo something that ends up killing you, right? It kills you, and since you sold your soul to the devil, it ends up in hell, where it's being destroyed over and over and over again for eternity. Steal, kill, destroy. Okay. And many people are waking up to this, and they see that this world was built in a similar pattern. Now, not exactly the same pattern, and it doesn't mean that we will all end up in hell. That's not what it means. But how the world was made was created to have people not develop their full potential. But I'll get to that. I'll get to that later, because he made it way more subtle than that. So now John 8:44. He has never stood for the truth, because there is no truth in him. Whenever the liar speaks, he speaks according to his own nature, because he is a liar and the father of lies. Now let's go back to what people are saying. Everything we have been taught is a lie. They're right, because the devil rules the world. He is the father of lies. So the empire he built is an empire built on lies. I said last week that hell is not or the kingdom of hell is not very creative. They're not very creative, but when it comes to lying, bro, when the devil lies, he's the master of lies. He knows exactly what words he needs to say to make something evil sound good. And he knows how to get people to do something evil, believing that they're doing something good and building something up, but they're actually destroying themselves and the people around them. Now let's go to another topic after I get my cat back in. I also removed the octopus. I don't know, for some reason it's really freaking me out today. So now let's go to the topic, what are those lies? And it's literally everything. The only thing that is not a lie is Jesus Christ and your parents and your friends. Well, I hope at least that your friends are not a lie, in the meaning of false friends. We've been taught, or the things that we have been taught that are necessary, that brings joy and fulfillment and helps humanity and brings progress into the world. This is all a lie that hinders you from chasing what is actually important, truly fulfilling, and that gives your life actual meaning and brings actual progress into the world. Now, I cannot talk about all the lies, okay? This is just way too much, and we would be here over 12 hours. But let's talk about a few lies, and two of those lies are major lies, but we'll get to that. One of the lies, or no, it's okay. One of the lies is that we need to work for others. We don't need to work for others. This is a major lie. The second major lie is that we need a human ruling over us. Now, again, I'm not saying that we should be lawless, okay? I'm not talking about, first of all, I'm not talking about not working in general, okay? People need to work. People need something to do that gives their lives meaning. Sure. And of course, we need somebody to determine the direction of humans, to give us rules and security and just a structure. Let me go to the first major lie. Again, I'm not talking that not working, that the work in general is not good. I'm talking for working for yourself. You looking after yourself, you doing what you need to do for yourself. This is how God determined things would have been for humans even after Adam and Eve were banned from the Garden of Eden. It says in Genesis 3:17-19, to the man he said, because you listened to your wife's voice and you ate from the tree I commanded, don't eat from it. Cursed is a fertile land because of you. In pain you will eat from it every day of your life. Weeds and thistles will grow for you. Even as you eat the field's plants, by the sweat of your face you will eat bread, until you return to the fertile land, since from it you were taken. You are soil, to the soil you will return. Nowhere is it saying that we need to do that for someone else. We need to do that for ourselves. And it even says that men need to do that. Now let me go back to the second major lie, that we need some human ruling over us. I'm not saying that humans shouldn't have a leader. I'm not saying that there shouldn't be somebody giving us structure and control. But that should be God. And God alone, not a human. It should be God. And we can read it in Psalm 22:28. Because the right to rule belongs to God. He rules all nations. And I am aware that the Bible also says in Romans 13:1, every person should place themselves under the authority of the government. There isn't any authority unless it comes from God, and the authorities that are there have been put in place by God. But here's a thing. There is a reason why God determined that at some point. Hey boy. Hi. God determined that at some point because this is what the people wanted. If we go to 1 Samuel 8:5, it says, they said to him, listen, you are old now, and your sons don't follow your footsteps, so appoint us a king to judge us like all the other nations. Mind you how they said, like all the other nations. We are talking about the people of God. They were being ruled by a God-fearing man, leading them into the right place, but because he was getting older and dying, and his sons didn't want to take on the same work as he did, they said, we need a human ruler like all the other nations. Those were God's people. All the other nations were godless. But God never forces his will upon humanity. So we said we want a leader. We want a king, like everybody else has a king. And we got that. We got a king. We got a leader. But again, God is not a forceful God. If said leader decides to get drunk on power and money, they will be corrupt, they will lead in corruption, and they will destroy the lives of people and enslave humanity to get more power and more money. This is just how it is. And yes, every authority has been placed by God, but again, everybody has a free will. If they decide to go the other way, they will go the other way. Yeah, baby, I know. I love you too. So, now let's talk about other major lies that have, or not major, kind of major. What other lies have we been told since the existence of humanity? All right? First lie, there are too many decisions for a human to make by themselves, all by themselves. So don't break your pretty little head with this. Give us, the ones ruling over you, some of your decisions, and we will promise you that we will do the good choice. We will choose what's best for you. And it started with some decisions. And now they decide what we're qualified to do, how to do it, when to do it, how long we do it, what we earn for our work, and based on that, they determine what we can and can't have with our money. Second lie. We need all of those things that big corporations, big names, and the rulers over us show and offer us to truly be satisfied, truly be fulfilled, have an abundant, easy, and safe life. Third lie, you don't earn enough money to get all of those things that we want you to have? No problem, just work more and earn more money. Forget spending time with your family and seeing your friends. And you cannot have a stable and happy family if you don't have those things that we offer you. You can't. It's not possible. And you cannot, even if you have a family, as long as you don't have those things, it's not going to be a happy and stable family. And as long as you don't have all of those things, you cannot have a family if you don't have one yet, but you want to have one. You can do that. So work first, gain all of those stuff, and then you can start thinking about starting a family, or then you will have a happy, fulfilled family and stable family. Then they work night and day, they work their jobs, they sweat their butts off, but they seem like they don't get anywhere. And they can't get all of those things that they're offering them. Well, why is that? Well, that's lie number 4. The more you work, the more money you have. Wrong. The more you earn, the more taxes you need to pay. Which is the reason why you feel like you're not going anywhere, although you're doing everything that you can to move forward, but you can't. You're not getting anywhere. This is the reason why you feel like you're missing out on the development of your children, or like you don't really know them, because you are choosing to chase a material life for your kids instead of giving them what they actually need, which is an actual bond, emotional, physical bond with their parents. But you're chasing the material things because you believe that this will make you and your family happy, and then if you don't have a family, but you work for all of those things, at some point you get too old to have a family. This is so sad. And by the way, don't you think it's weird that just only some people are actually really, really rich? Just some. Not many. And and exactly those that are always rich, they are the ones saying this is the newest thing, and if you don't get this newest thing, you are poor, you are the lowest of society, you are less than, you are a loser, you are unworthy, and so on. Now, I'm going to go a little deeper on why working for someone else is a scam. Because most people don't give a crap about you, or your well-being, or anything. But for some reason, it's really hard to be your own boss and get somewhere where you have actual success. Being self-reliant, being your own boss, is really hard to do. And the more advanced society gets, the harder and the more impossible it seems for you to rely on yourself. It's almost like people want you to rely on a stranger that doesn't care about you and your well-being. And it's almost like they don't want you to take your life into your own hands and to make your own decisions. They want you to rely on a stranger that thrives on your hard work. And of course, a big portion of your bill goes, or a big portion of your earning, of your how do you call it? And let's not forget that a big portion of your paycheck goes to the government. And they are the ones that are always rich and always empowered. They're always getting new boats, new villas, new jets. They go to very expensive holidays to the country on the other side of the world with their families. And most of this money comes from your hard-earned money. Instead of you spending it or investing it in your family, your friends, your hobbies, things that you truly need, you spend it on them because they say that what they offer you is better than what you could get for yourself. Sixth lie is taxes. Give a big portion of your money to those in power and they will say that everything in your environment works. Streets are well made, it won't break your tires. The economy will boom, everything will be affordable, you will be safe all the time, and all the news that we give you are reliable news, are impartial, and we give you true information of what's happening in your country and around the world. Seventh lie. There's too much knowledge in the world for one single person to have it all in their minds. So how about we have experts for every little thing? For example, building a house, getting electricity, for medicine, to farm, hunt, fish. Everybody, there's an expert for everything. And you give your money to those people so that they can give you something or do something for you that you could actually do by yourself. All those lies were created to keep you away from what truly matters, which is your family, your friends, your hobbies. And the most important thing is to keep God close to you, to get closer to God and to learn more about Him. And they were made to keep you busy. You are so busy most of the time that you cannot see what the powerful people are actually doing, how much control they have over your life, and how they're gaining more control over your life. And they don't want you to see that. They don't want you to see it. So the more busy they have you be, the more you lose the ability to think critically, because you accept whatever they offer you, because at the end of the day, you are too tired to think twice about what they're offering you and what you're giving up for that. And the worst thing is that how many people are in this deception that are outside of the spectrum of the wealthy, the powerful. Those are the ones that have hidden power, right? For example, people that create the theories like the multiverse theories, the simulation theory, the glitch in the matrix, or jump through different timelines, etc. Those theories were created to give people the impression that all of these lies are unescapable. And we have to follow those lies because it's out of our hands, because there is a much bigger force behind it, like, for example, the universe. They say that in 2020, we jumped from one timeline to another. The glitch in the matrix got worse. The simulation has changed. CERN has opened a portal and messed everything up. No. Very wrong. First of all, I don't believe in different timelines or in a multiple universe. And even if it does exist, I do not believe that humans are powerful enough to jump from one to the other. I don't even believe that the universe itself would be powerful enough to do that, because that sounds very chaotic. And our God is not a God of chaos. We can say this in 1 Corinthians 14:33. God isn't a God of disorder, but of peace, like in all the churches of God's people. God made a universe in such a way that everything has its place, everything has a reason why it's in set place, and nobody can leave their estate. So all those theories are ridiculous. They were created to discredit God's work, and for people to believe that though the lies of the devil are unescapable and we have no choice but to do as we were told. Not humans, nor machines, nor the universe is strong enough to mess up what God created. Because those theories suggest at the end of the day that God's creation is either unreliable, unstable, and it's not going crazy, or that is all a construct from something, and because humans, the universe, whatever, did something, and now it's all messed up. So all of those reasons are wrong why the world feels so weird. What truly happened in 2020 is that people realized how little power they actually have. If the government, they realize how much power the government has. If the government says something needs to be done this way, it will be done this way. The powerful people who have influence over your life, they will back up the government and tell you to do the same thing as they told you. They will push the narrative onto you, and if you don't do it, there's going to be serious consequences for the things that you choose not to do as they told you to do. This created a feeling of dystopian, right? Because people realize how little power they have over their life because they gave most of their power to the government and to the people that you're buying things from. The celebrities in all of this, those big companies. And they're all being ruled by the devil. So whatever they choose will not be in our favor. It will be in their favor, in the favor of the devil. This illusion that we have control over the happenings of the world has broken in 2020. We see that even many democratic countries are not really democratic. Democracy means that the power belongs to the people. This means one or a few people are appointed to do the will of the people. All right? Our will. But for some reason, democracy in most countries means, okay, we appoint this guy or this party, they rule for 4 years, and in those 4 years, they can do whatever they want, and nobody can say anything about it. And if we don't follow them, we will have consequences. So basically, a dictatorship with a time limit. Of course, not like in China or in North Korea, because that would be a little too obvious, because it still needs to feel like a democratic state, right? It cannot be too obvious. But still. So these days, I've realized this, especially in America, all right? It doesn't matter what or who you vote, we all are going to the same direction. Even if the rulers change some laws of the old president or do some stuff different than the old president, it will still seem to be moving in the same direction. That people are becoming more slaves that feel the pocket of the rich instead of actually being in charge of those in power, like a democracy would actually be. We are going even more to a direction of surveillance where you are even watched in your own home, by your own TV, by your own phone, by your own watch, in your own computer. We're going to a direction where they spy on you 24/7 to make sure that you don't dare fall out of line. And something so evil can only be explained by a supernatural force outside of human understanding, right? Because taking accountability is something unheard of these days, okay? You asking someone to take responsibility or to take accountability for their actions in today's society is like asking them to jump into an active volcano. Instead of saying, yeah, we gave too much power to a few people and we need to see that we take this power back. No. They say, oh, this is out of my hands. There's nothing I can do about it because CERN opened a portal. The simulation has changed. We jumped timelines. The glitch in the matrix got worse, so it's out of my hands. There's nothing I can do to change that. Is there a solution? Honestly? No, there's not, because there is a reason why it took so long for the end times to come. There is a reason why the Antichrist will only be showing up in our lifetimes. There is a reason why the beast system can only be established now in this generation. There is a reason for it. Because now it's too late. We got so used to let others make vital decisions for our lives. We got so used to following the next trend if we like it or not. We got so used to desire what the big names tell us that we need and want. We got so used to rely on strangers and work for them instead of relying on God. We got so used to believing the lie that true fulfillment is in working day and night and climbing this corporate ladder, and the higher you get, the better it is. And those are lies that we've been told by our parents, that they have been told by their parents and their parents and their parents. This is a lie that has been told to us for a very long time. We got used to have those in power tell us what to do, in what direction we need to go. And we lost the capability of critically, and I mean, not all of us, but most of us lost the capability of critical thinking. Look, if politicians would have done that, what they're doing today, 100 years ago, do you know what would have happened? People would have gotten up and took back their power. But these days, everybody's like, yeah, this sucks. It's not the best situation. But in 4 years, we will vote this person out and vote up a better one in. The other reason why it's too late, because it would change, it would require a lot of change, and a lot of change means a lot of work. Huge changes also mean having a new mindset and a new belief system, and see the world differently and take more responsibility for your own lives. Does this sound like something our society wants to do? No, they would rather be miserable and have everything stay the same than to change their mindsets, their worldview, and these days people run away from any kind of responsibility because it's too much. It's too much, right? There's not enough of us that would be willing to change this, to actually change it. That's why it's just too late. So all there is to do is to cling on to Jesus, cling to God, cling to the Holy Spirit, and hang on them as if you're hanging on for your lives, because you actually are. Not for your life here on earth, but for your soul. See to that you wake up as many people as you possibly can, because when the Antichrist takes over, they won't fall for his pretty lies, and they will see through those lies and be like, something is very fishy here. Again, not the easiest topic, not the fun topic, but it was necessary to say something. So I hope you enjoyed it somehow. Thank you for watching. Thanks for listening. Thank you for liking, subscribing, and sharing. Thank you to all of my regular viewers. And yeah, God bless you. God loves you. Have a blessed week. Have a great Monday. And we'll see each other next time. Bye.